Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to GameStar TV and the return of HEYPALL Season 2 here to GameStar TV. We apologize for the delays. We've got a couple of weird production-y bugs going on at the moment. So we're going to get the games underway and get you into the Paladins action tonight. Your casters for the evening are going to be the Dream Team, LeBoy and Beno, bringing you all of the action. So I'm going to throw it right away to LeBoy. He needs no introduction. Take it away, mate.
Select a champion.
Champions, and he is quite good on the champion. And on the other side, the Kinessa band. Kinessa is fantastic on this map. And coming out with the first couple of picks, we do see Kings lock in that Ruckus first pick. And on Team Benevolent, we do see the double tank of Anara and Makoa. Pretty standard at the moment, nothing out of the meta, so to say. We are going to see a Fernando and a Cassie hovering. Is there anything out of the ordinary you're seeing, LeBoy?
Fernando's a bit of a interesting pick. I suppose having a double tank is a perfect counter to a double tank. And Fernando, he is quite good. He's a good frontline tank, whereas Ruckus is more of a support backline tank. As you know, obviously high DPS, not the best up close, is often used better at range to do some chip damage. So yeah, I'd say that's a fairly standard pick. I mean, but then coming out with a Barrack and Grok, Benevolent with a triple tank strat, going all the way back to EVs, the days of Empire when we run the triple tank. And I mean, it can work. If played right, it can work. Very, very point heavy, which means they're going to have to watch their backs for flanks, but it can work. Grok as a solo healer, or by the looks of things as a solo healer, might pose problems. However, if they can make it work, then credit to them.
Yeah, and we are seeing Paragon and Flexi finishing out King's roster, locking in that Mount Dumba and the Victor. The Bomb King coming in from Team Benevolent, going on to Riversty. Quite standard here, as you said, apart from the triple tank comp that Team Benevolent is running. It is a very old team comp that might be coming back into the meta. These guys could bring it back, who knows? But it looks like Kings have gone quite a standard comp with the Fernando, very point-dominant tank, and Paragon is on that Ruckus, that hit scan, aggressive tank. And yeah, I reckon, honestly, Kings win this draft, but I'm keen to see if Team Benevolent can prove me wrong.
Could be the dark horse of the competition, pulling hats out of the bag with the triple tank Grok solo heal. Will be interesting. Looking forward to bringing this match to you guys. We will bring it to you very, very shortly. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the first match of today's tournament, bringing you Kings versus Team Benevolent. Map obviously is going to be Frozen Guard. It's nice that we now have that come up in the draft screen for you guys. Makes things a lot easier for everyone, so that we know if we see picks like, for example, Kinesta ban, we know that, you know, obviously being a map that Kinesta can do very, very well on, it's very justified. So that helps us out. It helps you guys out on stream, hopefully. Helps you understand things a bit more. And yeah, hopefully we are going to look forward to the matchup. You know, you've got any pre-match predictions?
Honestly, yeah, as I said in the champion select screen, I would have to predict Kings due to they are going with quite a meta draft, I have to say, apart from Fernando, which could be coming back in this match. I'm not entirely sure. Whereas Team Benevolent are going to have to dominate on point early if they're going to look to get this first point. We do see them coming up here. Kings are looking to go around this right side, just getting a bunch of damage early on. And Team Benevolent have done exactly what I've said and gone on to point early, deathballing so far. And here come Kings.
I might be a little delayed. I did have a bit of a spectate bug. I think the updates might have just you know, edited a few things. But from where I've seen, Paragon just got a couple of kills, and I'm now at 127. If I'm behind or in front of you, you might want to let me know.
You are behind by 1 second, but that is okay. I will continue the action. It is scrolling up to 60% now on King's side. They are starting to take a lot of point control as expected. They did go on. They did have quite a nice engage after Team Benevolent did take some early point control. The Anara wall does come up to secure them the first point, and that is going to be 1-0 to Kings. Nothing out of the blue yet.
So far, Team Benevolent have been very, very passive. I mean, the first point they did deathball on it to punish them, but at the moment, they're kind of just sitting back for no particular reason. I suppose the tanks need to stay with the Grok, but if they are going to do that, then they're going to have to play for picks somehow. Someone has to go out there and get picks and some damage done. But with a comp like this, where they all have to sit next to each other and can easily just be deathball clustered like this, like they are now. I mean, look, Paragon, Flexi, and 4 just dived in and completely melted all 5 of them. None of them died. None of them have died so far. And this is the comp. I mean, I suppose triple tank healer. They're kind of forced to stick to the Grok. If they don't, they're not going to get heals. Grok doesn't have any long range healing like Maldamba or Asteris does. So it is punishing them. They are kind of stuck in support. And this is a tricky match.
Honestly, they're just playing the comp incorrectly at the moment. They have clammed up together when in a small little room, and this is the first kill they've gotten. Now Horatio is going to be able to pick up human radio, but I'm not even sure if they're going to be able to get any other disengaged kills. It doesn't look like it. 4 April is going to escape out the left side, and early on they just clumped up in small spaces, and seeing though there is 4 April, Flexi and Paragon that can all just spam into these small little choke points. Honestly, seeing Benevolent play like this, I thought they did have a little bit more composure.
I suppose the way I see it, they picked the team without having a game plan. They kind of just went with it and then thought, you know what, we'll roll with it. We don't know if it's going to work or not, but we'll try it. And it does show, because they really don't seem to have much of a structure to what they're doing right now. They're a bit all over the place. They do stick together, which is good. But that's all they've been doing. I mean, they're trying to get picks, they really are, but it just isn't working for them. Their main pick champs are going to be McCullough, obviously being a DPS, he can lock those picks in, and then McCullough as well. Once he gets a hook, you know, focus fire down the target, and then get picks that way. But aside from that, I'm struggling to see how they're going to play this. I mean, so far, it's been very, very smooth sailing for Kings. 4 minutes 18 in, and they're already looking very, very comfortable. They have 3 ults going into this next fight, and they have 2 points on the board already. This is going to be a tough one for Benevolent for sure.
As you said, it's just looking incredibly dominant so far for Kings. Flexi, 4 April, and Paragon are just spamming into these little choke points, and Benevolent are doing nothing about it. They do have 3 ults on the board, as do Kings, but it's going to have to be about ultimate usage here, and Kings are just playing extremely well. It'll be interesting to see if they do go for the death ball on the point again. It is kind of looking like it. They are changing their strategy and going around the left side and then onto the point, just trying to spice it up a little bit. But 4-8-ball is just spamming that fireball into the choke again, and this is exactly what happened to them last time. Paragon is able to just bring out the Hexafire, and here comes the pain from Kings, and this is the fight won already to Kings.
Yeah, I'm not exactly too sure what Benevolent was doing. I mean, I saw what Kings were trying to do. They had a few go around the right-hand side, and then they had a couple go middle, but then for April, I think what Kings predicted was that Benevolent would just rush down the middle, which is why for April pushed around to that side. He was trying to be a bit of a flank Mando, but seeing as that is the side where all of Benevolent went down, he was kind of in a dodgy position, but he still managed to survive. He got out of there alive, his shield was up, and nobody from Benevolent was able to pick him off, despite he was surrounded by 5 of them. He does go down eventually, he had to pop his ult, which was unfortunate. I mean, the rest of Kings backed off, they needed to, they were in a bit of a, they were just kind of out of position, rather. I mean, they finally do get the point, and I thought it would have been a bit earlier than that, maybe one of them just wasn't standing on. But they do finally have that 3rd point, and so far, I mean, Benevolent, once they get a pick, they can hold the lead for a little bit, but they need to have a bit more sustainability with these holds.
They do indeed, and they should have had that engage a little bit earlier. They did have 4-8-ball on incredibly low health, having to pop that ult, and they didn't push in after that. They had him incredibly low. They almost could have walked past him as they were killing him, had one person maybe stay back, and then the rest go to push the point to overtime. As we see Rimsky get a pick on the Paragon Flexi, he is going to fire right back and get a kill on Bomb King immediately. And this is what I like to see from Benevolent, these more team fight, death balls, and they're seeming to actually do something about it. And as I say that, Mid is going to get a double kill, and they are just dismantling them again.
Despite the way they're playing, I really don't foresee a lot of them as bad players. I think if I were to single people out, and I don't want to do this, but I mean, I kind of have to. Barrack is one. I mean, he does have 2 kills and an assist, which, I mean, considering that he has 2 out of the 6 kills, it's not bad. But I feel like he needs to be more of a backline, and Makoa needs to push up near the front line, whereas it looks the other way around. Makoa is sitting too far back, and Barrack is sitting too far forward. He needs to swap around. Barrack has turrets. They're basically sniper rifles. And then once Makoa can land a hook into the turrets plus Barrack, and you know, if they get people just to lock him down, then I feel like that's how they're going to play. You know, Makoa's got to get out front. He's got to get in, get picks, hook them, and then pull back. Obviously, get his team to finish off wherever he's hooked in, but they need to change that up. Also, Brock's not been too bad. Neither has Riversty, to be fair. I just really think that the Barrack and Makoa need to swap around how they're playing. They are kind of holding
They are indeed. We do see them just chasing kills at the moment. They're not doing really anything about trying to save the point. They may be getting 1 or 2 kills, and then they all just clump up together. And they've just done what they've done, which has made them lose pretty much every team fight so far. Finally, Horatius and the tanks are able to get some kills, but honestly, at what cost they're having to use ults, honestly, 3 ults to 2 ults, Kings might even be able to push this, depending on what Paragon can do here. He is falling down, and he is unfortunately going to go down.
Benevolent do get a hold off actually, and that was surprising to me, seeing as they still have ults on the board. They have Makoa's Barracks and Bomb Kings firmly locked in place, and they have the advantage right now. Kings did pop a few to try and push that in. Unfortunately, they weren't able to. So well held by Benevolent. That wasn't really expected, and to have the ult advantage right now, I mean, it's big for them, because if they can use the ults well, then it can turn the game on its edge. Which, I mean, they're going to have to. They need to figure out when they're going to use ults, which are going to combine. I mean,
spawning in 15
none of them really
seconds.
can combine. I suppose, like, they're not like... If you had the Inaras, then you could make a combination with, say, the Bomb King. Whereas, I mean, they can't really do it without the Inara. So it's going to be interesting to see how they use these and if they can use them effectively.
Swiftly.
They honestly need to change something up here on this first engage. They've all clumped up. I honestly suggest maybe splitting up a little bit, sending 1 or 2 of your tanks to point, and then your healer and 1 more tank maybe off to the side, try and do something. Unfortunately, they are going to clump up basically again. Grok is going to basically cut into the back line. Here comes the Hexafire from Paragon. He's going to light everyone up. He might go down for it. Unfortunately, he's going to pop the shield. And here come Kings. They're dominating again.
Benevolent had the right track. They took the high ground. They did push point first. They got some time on, obviously 20%. It's not bad. Good start. But they couldn't hold it. McCall is all right now. Kind of, middle of nowhere. Not exactly sure what he's doing. Leadership Kuras, I know him more as a DPS player. I'm not sure if he's picked up playing tanks a bit more recently or not, but as far as I know it, he's a lot better on DPS, and it's showing. I mean, he's not playing awfully on McCullough, but he's also not making the greatest decisions. He's also been bad. He's hooked, he hasn't landed all that many, and it is unfortunate, seeing he's not a bad player if put on the right role. So, unfortunate for Team Benevolent, they did put up a fight, but very well played to Kings. Not a whole lot of mistakes made from their part, and overall, a very entertaining match to watch. Now, Benno, if we have a look over here at the scoreboard, we can see some very interesting things coming up. Would you like to run us down through some things that catch your eye?
Honestly, seeing though that Human Radio had 3k more healing than Ulra might, honestly, it's not surprising, seeing though that Grok basically was able to spam his totem pole with everyone in his team, seeing though whenever they were in the choke points, Grok could just spam his totem pole down and able to get a bunch of healing down onto his team.
Yeah, I mean, 84k heals compared to 87k. I mean, Human Radio is one of the best healers in the scene. And, I mean, for Olramite to get even close to him, it's quite an achievement, despite the fact that there are 3 tanks around him pretty much at all times, trying to guard that totem and get as much healing as possible, seeing it as it is the only way they can get heals. So it's not too bad. I mean, stat-wise for the rest of Team Benevolent, not looking too great. Although, I mean, it's Kings. Second best team in OCE. I mean, some Avant members are probably going to want to disagree with that. However, they did perform very, very nicely, and it shows. So, Benno, any MVP you want to pick out? We've got to pick out an MVP for these matches. A lot of deserved players this time round. Anyone you personally think that should get it?
Honestly, in my opinion, even though Flexi did have 111,000 damage, Paragon, from what I was seeing, he did have a lot of point control, and it seemed like there was a little bit of leadership role there from him. He was able to control the team fights perfectly, in my opinion, and his Hexafires were able to pick up 2 or 3 at a time, and that was just fantastic to see.
Yeah, he really didn't play too badly. A lot of kill contribution, 15 kills and the 12 assists is really not too bad. 15 streak, didn't die a whole lot. I mean, only twice, along with Flexi and for April. I mean, 3 for Myth and Human Radio isn't all that much difference. But yeah, Paragon really did do a nice job on Ruckus, seeing as it is normally Flexi's role. He's normally the Ruckus for Kings. So Paragon is going to get the MVP for match number 1. And if we're going to quickly head over and look at how the rest of these matches have gone, we have Kanga Esports picking up the 4-0 against Cool Team Name, E6 4-0 Team Dankless, Vextrum 4-1 Benevolent Academy, and Quer Esports 4-0 Quantum. So, I mean, the top-seeded teams all won 4-0 or 4-1, so nothing too out of the ordinary there. Now, the next matchups, we have some interesting ones. We could either go with Kanga, E6, Kings, Vextrum, or Quer Esports Core Team Name. Let us know what you guys want to see in chat. We'll hopefully, we'll have a little break and, just input what you want in chat, and we'll bring that match to you guys shortly.
All right, everyone. So we'll be back in just about 2 minutes. So don't go away. We'll bring that second match to you in just a moment.